With day one of the Fusion tournament coming to an end, it's time to talk about just what happened. Give a short recap. I told you guys before this, I didn't know if I wanted to do, let's say, a recap video every day or just one long one at the end. I think maybe I'll just break them up into shorter ones, just go a little more in-depth about each match and which ones really stood out. Because if I did just one long one, I really wouldn't be able to go in-depth into each match, which I know some people do really like. And before we start the video, if you have not seen the 1v1 for today, well, I guess it would be yesterday when I upload this, but Divine versus Vision, which was actually Jruss versus Kinseh, watch it. It is, in my opinion, one of the best 1v1s I've seen in recent times. It is personally just one of my favorites. It is amazing. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. It just has everything that you want in a 1v1 in that match. And if you, I'm not going to spoil it. I will spoil it later in this video, but if you haven't seen it right now, watch it and then come back to this video. It was so good, so worth your time. But yeah, as always, if you guys do enjoy, hit subscribe. We're on the road to 1 billion subscribers. One day. Yeah, let's get right into it. So 3v3 first. We had 72PC versus Affinity. Now in my predictions video, I guessed 72PC winning this because as of recent times, 72PCs actually looked like the better 3v3 team. They made Spring Series when Affinity didn't. They qualify for this tournament through the upper bracket. Affinity didn't. Now, given this tournament's obviously a different format, but 72PC was looking really good recently, and 72PC were up 3 games to 0 and got reverse swept. I mean, it was a giant throw. I thought 72PC had this in the bag. They were playing great. Jacob was having the game of his life. He was playing insane. He had this at one point, this just insane mechanical double touch. I mean, Jacob was playing great. And then we saw nothing from him or anyone the rest of the 4 games. It was all Percy. Percy really stepped up because Affinity had only scored a total of 2 goals up until game 4. And then once game 4 hit, it was just a ton of goals, shot after shot. You know, I really liked what I saw from Percy, and yeah, it was just a huge throw from 72PC. It can't help but, I mean, they should have won it 100%, but huge turnaround. I think I was talking about how the player that to look out for was Magic Bear, especially with this 1v1 game, but if you remember in Rival Series, Magic Bear was amazing in the 3v3 department. I really like Percy today. Jordan Magic Bear played fine, especially the last 4 games, but Percy, man, a lot of props to him. Really stepped it up, really took initiative on the team, and one of the things that really helped this team was the fact that they started to get a lot more bump plays, got more aggressive, and once they got aggressive in game number 4, 72PC had no answer, none at all, and 4 games later, they still couldn't figure anything out. In fact, they got shut out in their final game even, and just the same stuff was working. Affinity didn't need to change up their playstyle, and I think that that's a weakness of 72PC, the inability, I guess, to change up to the playstyle and adapt, which, you know what, that is the difference between an RLCS team and an RLRS team, like Affinity and 72PC. Affinity was able to adapt to what was going on, and this also shows why best of 7s are better than best of 5s, because if it was a best of 5, 72PC win this in a sweep. A best of 7, Affinity win this in a reverse sweep. It's a very good example of how the difference between an RLCS team and RLRS team, why a best of 7 might be better than the best of 5. So still, even with that said, should have been 72PC's game. It should have been. There's no excuse for them losing this. None at all. They had what it takes to close it out, and another weakness of 72PC's game is closing out the series. They need to learn to close it out, and you know what? They couldn't do it, and that's why they took the loss. Then we get on to Envy versus Rogue, which is another phenomenal game. Like, a lot of people were complaining about how the 2v2s during the qualifiers were very lackluster and unentertaining. This was entertaining. Really fucking entertaining. Retals and Atomic versus Firstkiller and Turinturo. Atomic, Firstkiller, and Turinturo all have insane mechanics, while Retals, it's weird. He's like the odd man out. He doesn't even do half the mechanical stuff the others do. He relies on positioning a lot. Obviously, he has some mechanics. You know, every RLCS pro has to have some. But I mean, in terms of the high level mechanics that we've seen from these other guys, I mean, Retals does play the game a little bit differently, and you can really notice that with only 4 people on the field as opposed to 6, like in 3v3. So really cool seeing that. I think Retals played a lot better than Atomic, in my opinion. for Envy, but Firstkiller and Turinturo, man, they so good, so good. But it was a close game. I mean, 2 overtimes, just they all played very well. All these players. I think Firstkiller played the best. I think that everyone played well, but Firstkiller just looked like a step above everyone else. He really, really knew what he was doing, which is weird because Atomic is an insanely good twos player. In fact, I could be wrong, but I thought that Atomic, at least on the ranked ladder, was higher than Firstkiller and Turinturo and Reddles, but I could be wrong. That's just what I thought. But obviously your position on the ranked ladder doesn't mean everything, but you know. But Firstkiller definitely looked like he knew what he was doing. He controlled the pace of the game a lot, and yeah, it was a very, very fun, entertaining twos match. And now we get on to the 1v1. Like I said, this is probably, in recent times, one of the best 1v1 matches that I've seen. Right, this is obviously everyone might have their own opinion. This is one of my personal favorites. Now, I know some people might also be thinking, well, we have also seen some really insane 1v1s on, let's say, Johnny Boy's stream, but this was in a tournament setting, right? Johnny Boy's stream, he does show matches, right? A lot, still pressure, especially when there's money on the line, but not nearly as much as a $25,000 tournament. To have such an insane 1v1 be pulled off in a tournament setting like this is just even more insane, and because of that, it actually gets put a lot higher on my list than maybe if this were to happen in a show match or even just in a ranked game, right? Because the environment that they were in, like the amount of people watching, the eyes on them as well, just everything about this match was great. So it was Jruss versus Kinseh, and remember, Jruss is chicken, and remember, I thought that Jruss would win, but I knew Kinseh was very good. I thought it would be, I knew it would be a close match, but I didn't know it would be this good. Oh my god. It was just mechanical play after mechanical play. Insane plays coming out from both these guys. Every single goal of every single game was just a banger. It was just amazing. Like, I could not take my eyes off of this game. It was either an air dribble bump, a flip reset, or double tap, a ceiling shot, anything you could think of. Anything, it was used. These are really crazy, Kinseh was pulling off these really crazy, like 180, like wave dash shots. It was like, what are you doing, dude? Absolutely crazy stuff. Like, they were pulling off mechanics that you could never hope to do in your entire life because it was so high level. It was honestly everything that you could have hoped for in a 1v1 match and more. It was great. The only issue I had is that it didn't go to 7 games because I really wanted it to go to 7, but at the end of the day, Jruss, he took the W over Kinseh, but one of the best matches I've seen in recent times. And it was intense. A lot of the games were 1-goal games. The first 3 were all 1-goal games, but then the last 3, it was weird because then Jruss got shut out in game 4, and I thought, okay, I guess it's a turnaround point. But then no, then Jruss ran away with the last 2 games. So again, maybe the next complaint I have is that, yeah, Jruss kind of ran away with the last couple games, but the first 3, oh my god, especially. But it was all great. Like, every single bit of it was great. I can't recommend it enough. If you guys want to know who's going to be playing tomorrow, it's going to be Rogue versus Stromboli, which I said in my predictions video, Rogue probably has the upper hand on that. Then it was going to be Space Station versus Divine. 2v2s, I think Sipical is the best team in the world. I think they take that. I'm sorry, I think Sipical is the best twos player in the world, or at least one of the best. So I think he's probably going to take the 2v2 game. And then it's going to be 72 PC versus Stromboli. So Stromboli has 2 games tomorrow. Like I said in that, I think Lion Blaze might have the upper hand there. But you know what? We'll see. We'll definitely see. It was, I mean, today was extremely exciting, especially the 2v2 and the 1v1 were definitely more exciting if you're looking for some matches to watch, and especially the 1v1, like I've said. The 3v3 one, the only problem I had was, yes, it was close. In fact, it was the only one that went 7 games. It never felt close, you know what I mean? Like, the other ones felt like back and forth. You were on the edge of your seat. You didn't know what was going to happen. But the first 3 games, all 72 PC, you just knew it was them. But then the last 4 games, all Affinity. You knew they were going to win. It was like there wasn't a lot of times where you thought to yourself, okay, this could go either way, except the one game in the Affinity 72 PC. It did go to overtime. It was game 5, but all the other games, I mean, not really. That was the only game that to me really felt close. I mean, you could basically tell after the first minute of each game who was dominating, who was going to win, who had all the pressure. So despite that being the only game to go to 7, it wasn't the closest game, to be honest. I think that the Divine and Vision game with Jruss and Kinseh was a lot closer, in my opinion. A lot more back and forth, a lot more nail biting, even the 2v2 with Rogue and Envy. Yep, that's what I have to say. So if you're looking for some matches to watch of those two, especially, you can watch it all on Johnny Boy's stream, by the way. You know, twitch.tv. I mean, just so you can figure it out. But yep, that's everything that happened yesterday, and I'll probably just do shorter. I'll probably do a lot more just in-depth recaps, because I asked on my last video what you guys prefer to see, and people actually said just do recap videos every day, but go more in depth. So I thought, you know, that's cool. I could do that. Spend a longer talking about each match, because I do enjoy going in depth about matches, as well as, like, you know, the qualifiers. I just quickly glanced over each match. But yep, so hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do enjoy, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at cherry_ZRL. And yep, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.